Alright, howdy there, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to be going over how to make background images pop up in VS Code, right? Or, yeah, just have background images. I'm going to do it so you can have background images for on the editor. So for the code part, you can do background images for the bottom panel, which is like where the terminal goes, and on the left panel, which is like files, the file side. And then you can also do one more, which is background images over the entire VS Code. So it'll be covering like the whole window, and you can do. We're gonna be doing a few things with those images. So you can make them more or less transparent if you want to. You can also change the size of them, the position. Um, yeah, you can make a slideshow as well. That's something I'm gonna cover. You can make it, yeah, go over multiple images. You could also make it shuffle, so you can make it go in order, or you can make it pick like a random image if you want. That's something we're gonna do. And yeah, so let's get started. Let's get started. All right, so right here I have VS Code open. Um, yeah. So what you're gonna want to do is have VS Code open. So that's the first step. All right. So the next step is we're gonna go on the left here and click on extensions, and we're going to search for background. Right. So we're gonna do that. The one that you want to get is this one by Aula, and it looks like this. For me, it's the first one that pops up, but it might not be there for you, but it's at least it's made by this person, Aula. So yeah, so just click here on install. Okay, so we've installed it. This is what we're going to be using to add the background and all that stuff I talked about. So yes, all right, so click on this icon here, click on settings, okay, and then click edit in settings.json. Okay, and we can close settings here. Let's click that out. Okay, so right here, I'm also gonna take that out. So right here I have some code. So if you do not know anything about coding, I'm just gonna assume you don't really know much about coding. Well, that's completely fine. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna tell you guys what to do. Okay, I'm gonna explain everything. So, yeah. So this stuff right here. Okay. What you're gonna want to focus on is right here where it says background.editor. That is going to allow us to add a background to the editor panel, which is this panel, which has the text in it, right? As a text. It's separate from this one, separate from the bottom panel. This is the bottom panel. Okay. So the editor panel, when you see background.editor, that is this one, the one with all the code in it. So the first thing we're gonna do is try to get an image to pop up on the background. So I have an image already. Let me look for it. I think, yeah. Okay, it's right here. So I have my images as files on my computer. You could also do this with images on the internet. I'm going to show both right now. So yeah, so pick your image. The first thing I'm going to do is the file on the computer image. So I'm going to pick this one. I am on Windows, but I'm pretty sure this works on other operating systems as well. So what I'm going to do is kind of like a trick, but it's very useful, and I'm going to be doing this to add all the images. So what I'm going to do is open up my browser. I have Firefox, and I'm gonna try to get the link to this file, and I don't know how to do that. This is like the only way I know how to do it, basically. So what I'm gonna do is drag the image I want into Firefox. It's gonna open it, and on here on the URL, it has a link to that file, which is the image I want. And simply what I'm gonna do is try to put that in here, images. Okay, so a little explanation is needed. So images right here, you can see right next to it, it has these things here, these square brackets. Let me zoom in, by the way. Yeah, okay. So you can see there are some square brackets. Your images will go in these square brackets. And yeah, that's it. So I'm going to press enter on here just to make some more space for me so I can... I just think it looks cleaner, more pretty to have more space like this. You could very well do all this like this, right? You could put your images and the... I'll show you what I mean, guys. I'll show you what I mean. But I'm just going to press enter. So it looks like this. And now inside of these square brackets, in the middle, I'm going to put quotation marks. Okay, 2 quotation marks, 2 of them. And then in between the quotation marks, paste your file, the URL that you copied from the browser. So that is, there it is. Alright, so I have added, notice we've added an image to the images. So logically, maybe we should have an image pop up. So how do we do that? How do we do this? So to save your changes and have them, have Vscode update, you gotta save this file, settings.json. So I'm gonna do Control S to save, and when you do that, it's gonna ask you this right here. Click the update or whatever, and just click it, update and restart. And there we go. We have our first image in the background. It is a little too bright for my likings, not gonna lie. But yes, we do have an image now, and so that's what we did. So we put quotation marks, and then we pasted the image inside of here, inside of the images, in between the square brackets. Yeah. So we're gonna do that a few more times, but yeah. So the first problem here is that I can't really read the text too well. It's kind of bright. So what I'm gonna do is change the opacity. This is kind of how transparent the image is and like how faded it is. So the lower this value is, the closer to 0 this value is, the more transparent, like the more faded it will be. So yeah, let's put 0.4. This is a little lower than 0.6. Okay, so let's do Control S to save our changes. Click the magical button, and it seems a little bit better, but I kind of want to keep decreasing it. Let's do 0.1. Let's do 0.1. Let's save our changes. Control S, click the magical button. Alright. Okay, this is pretty good. Not gonna lie, this is the text is readable, okay? And that's what I want. So yeah, the text is readable. I'm done changing the opacity now. I'm pretty good with this. So let's do something else. Oh yeah, I told you guys I was gonna show you how to do an image from the internet. So what I'm gonna do is select this and delete it. But I'm gonna keep the curly braces. I mean the quotation marks. So I'm gonna go onto the internet and I'm going to get an image. Okay, so this is their GitHub. They have some images here. I'm just gonna get this one. So I'm gonna right click here, do copy image link to get a link, and then I'm going to paste it with Control V into here. And you can see, yeah, this is an image. This ends in .png, which usually means it's an image. So I'm going to save this file to update the Vscode. And yeah, you can kind of tell it's pretty dim. I mean, let me turn the opacity up a little so you can see it better. Control S to save. There we go. So you can kind of see it better now. But yeah, this is that image that I copied. You can tell this is kind of like on the bottom or something. I don't really know. But yeah. So I'm just gonna keep this image here. Why not? Control S. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Yeah. Also, I think there's this thing here, use front. I think it makes the text more visible or something. Yeah, it's a little more visible now. If you put this to false, use front, if it's false, the text will be more visible. And if it's true, the image will like bleed into the text. But I don't want that to happen. I just want it to be false. So yeah. Alright, so next thing we're gonna do, okay, is add a second image. Right, we're gonna add a second image. I'm gonna get it from here like last time. I'm gonna do the browser trick. So what I'm gonna do is get my file that I want, drag it into the browser. The URL, I'm gonna select it all, copy with Control C, and now I have it copied. And what I'm gonna do is where you put that image is gonna be here in images, right? But this is how you do it. Okay, if you want to put more than one image, you got to put a comma after the last image you put, which is this one, and then you can put the quotation marks, and then put your image in there. Right? You gotta separate them with commas. That's like the only thing you gotta focus remember. So, because yeah, if you don't put a comma, it's gonna give you an error. So yeah, in between the quotation marks, you gotta put commas for each image. So I'm gonna save this and click the magical button, and it is not working. It is not working, and that is because here interval. This is the amount of time it takes in seconds to switch images. If it is on 0, it will not switch images. It'll just stay on the first image. So you gotta actually pick a number for this. So how long do you want it to take? Or like, how quick do you want it to switch? Okay, I'm gonna do just for right now, let's do 4 seconds. So I'm gonna change that to 4 instead of 0. Okay, and now it should be changing. Yes, you can see it changed. The background actually changed. Looks kind of weird though. Not gonna lie, it looks kind of weird. I think it's because I'm zoomed in all the way. Oh well, that's alright. Yeah, I don't really like 4 seconds. It's kind of overstimulating me. So I'm gonna put 30 seconds so that I have a little more time to appreciate the images. Yeah. Also, I like to do this. You don't have to do this, but I'm gonna press enter after this comma. And well, actually, nah, I won't do that, guys. It's okay. Dude, never mind. No, I'm still gonna do it. Okay, look. I like doing this. I like separating each of these images on separate lines. And the problem is sometimes VS Code turns it into green, like this, green, which means it is a comment. Comments don't contribute to the code. So if it's green like this and it has 2 slashes, that means it is a comment and it does not affect your code. So if I actually did this, if I saved it right now, let me save it. Let me save it. Let me show you guys. Yeah, it will only include the first image because the second image got commented away, and so it doesn't contribute to the code. It's like it disappeared, but it's still there. But it's like it's not functional. So to fix that, you just erase the 2 slashes in the beginning, and it's not green anymore, which is a good sign that it is not a comment. So I'm gonna save it again. It should be the same as the last time. I just put this on a new line. I just like doing that. Okay, I'm a programmer. I like doing that. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So yeah, I showed you guys how to put images, multiple of them. You can also do this here, which picks a random image. So you can put true or false. Okay, all lowercase. So yeah, false means it's not gonna pick random images. True meaning it will pick random images. So let's just put true for the sake of exploring this code. Okay, so there we go. We got some stuff there. These things I will go over after a little bit. Okay, after a little bit. So yeah. All right. So that is how to change the editor. I just showed you how to change images and stuff and add multiple, and even multiple, and go through them with the interval. Also change the opacity. But this is only the editor panel, right? This one with the code. What about this panel or the bottom panel, right? How about those? In the full screen panel, how do we get the whole VS Code with an image? Yeah, I'm gonna show you that real quick. So I'm gonna have a link in the description for this, but you're gonna need to go to this website, right here, the GitHub. It's called VS Background. It is the code for the extension that we installed. It's for the extension. So yeah, in this extension, you can see here they have the code that we started with, right? It has images, background editor, this thing, remember, opacity, interval, random, right? But how this works is we only have editor, right? But that's the editor panel. But we also want to do the other panels. So that is here. So they have code for the other ones right here. You can see they have the full screen panel, which is the whole VS Code, the sidebar, which is going to be the left, and panel, which is the bottom panel for like the terminal and stuff. So yeah, copy this stuff here, copy. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm not gonna include these top and bottom curly braces. I don't know if they're gonna have that there when you watch the video, but I am going to not include those. So copy that however you like this, or hit Control C copies. Okay, and then what we're going to do is paste that into here, our code. So where do we paste it? Okay, you're going to paste it at this curly brace right here, this one. And this one is supposed to match with this one. Like, you got to put it after background editor curly brace, like right here. Put a comma there and then paste the code. Right, so the comma after this curly brace, it's supposed to line up with background editor. Also, if you put your cursor over the curly brace that is right in front of background editor, it'll highlight. You can also hover over it and it'll highlight where it ends, kind of. Well, let me see. Yeah, it'll highlight. I gotta zoom out to show you this. Yeah, you can see it kind of ends at well, I can't move my mouse to show you, but you can see where it ends, and it's right here, this curly brace. So that's that. Let me press enter a few times. So yeah, what we're gonna do is paste the code. Control V. Okay, so this is good. Now we have the code for full screen, sidebar, and panel. And what I'm going to do right now is clean this up a little. So I'm going to do backspace a little bit. I'm being careful not to remove the comma. I'm going to press enter. So this is on its own line, and the comma is still here. Okay, I'm going to do that. I just like having this on its own line. I think it looks nicer. And I'm going to select this here, this code, not including this, and I'm going to press tab. Okay, and tab will align it, so now it's, you know, if I undo it, you can see it's kind of off. Like this is, I think it should be here. This should start here, and if I select it and press tab, it'll move it to the right. So that's why I did that. So now I think it looks nice. Okay, it looks very nice. It looks very neat and organized, in my opinion. All right, so let's not do the full screen yet because it's gonna do the whole entire screen. I kind of want to do the side panel first and then the bottom panel. So let's do that. So let's move on. Let's skip full screen for now, and let's go straight here to sidebar. So on sidebar, you can see there are curly braces here, and it is missing code. Okay, where is that code? It's here. We can copy the code from full screen, from inside full screen, right? Just the inside part, not the curly braces. And actually, no. I'm gonna copy everything. Copy all of it. So starting from the comma and going up to the curly brace, I'm going to copy, and then over the comma and the curly braces, I'm going to paste. And I'm going to do the same thing for panel. This one too. Alright, so now we have code. Now we have code from here. And just, I want to make sure you guys know that the code that I pasted in here has to come from full screen and not from editor. Just because on the website it says those are not compatible. So you cannot use this code inside. You cannot use the editor code inside of sidebar or panel. Like it, they're just not compatible. So get them from full screen. Copy the full screen one and just do what I did there. So yeah. So where are we at? So we have some code for panel, sidebar, and full screen. I'm gonna do sidebar. This one is the left side, right? So this panel. So I'm gonna keep that open just so we can see our changes. And I want to add an image. So I'm going to do the same thing that we did for editor, which was these images, and I'm gonna do that for sidebar. So this already has stuff in it for images. I'm going to delete that. Let me take this out real quick. It's just kind of distracting. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave this empty. It's just gonna be the two square brackets in sidebar next to images. And now we're gonna do that thing where you get your image and put it in the browser. And that is gonna be the image that I want to go into the sidebar. So I'm gonna pick this one. Yeah, I'm gonna pick this one. So I'm gonna drag it to the browser, copy the URL, go here, put our quotation marks inside the square brackets for our images, and then I'm going to paste the URL in there. And now I will save it and click the magical button, update and restart, and that was the sidebar. So let's see if it changed. And it did. It's just very dim, but I kind of like it. It looks like the moon or something. It looks like there's a crater. I think it looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. I kind of like it just like that. Alright, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I promise I'm going to go over these two, size and position, but I'm going to just skip that for now. Also, you can put multiple images here if you want as well, and you can do the interval thing as well, so it like goes through them. But I just don't like how that looks for the sidebar. I like the sidebar having like one image, so I'm just going to keep it like that. And I'm going to do the same thing for the panel. Panel is the bottom, right? The terminal. So yeah, let's do that whole process again. Let's just get an image. Let's pick one. I'm gonna pick this one. It's has a lot of bright colors in it. Move that here. Copy the entire URL. I'm gonna erase everything in here. I'm gonna make sure to keep the the square brackets. Okay, I'm gonna put quotation marks and paste our image. And now I'm going to save the file. Click the button. And now I'm going to open the bottom panel. And would you look at that? We have an image in the bottom panel. So look at this. Very, very stylish. We have images everywhere. Okay, everywhere. And that's awesome. Alright, that's awesome. But there's one panel. I remember I said I was going to leave this for last. The full screen. Which is just it just covers the entire screen. That's what that one is. So what I'm gonna do is real quick, I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. I'm gonna turn off the other code and only keep the full screen code because I think it's gonna be a little distracting to have this image here and this image and this image all at the same time and have a giant image covering the entire thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off these, like the sidebar, the panel, and the editor up there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to comment it. I'm going to turn this all into a big comment, and that will essentially turn it off. So this is how you do it. You select the panel, and you do Control / while you're selecting it, and it will turn it all into a comment. Okay, and I just want you guys to pay attention here that what I am commenting is the beginning. It just has to include the beginning quotation mark and the end, like with the comma and the curly brace that ends it, right? So that's what I am selecting, and that's what I am commenting. Okay. And just be aware that when you do a comment, it comments out the entire line of whatever you're selecting. So for example, the reason I said to include only like it has to look like this. It has to look like this. It can't be on this line because if you comment this out, if you do it like that, it's going to comment this as well, which is the curly brace for the sidebar, and you just like took out the curly brace for the sidebar and it's going to give you an error. Okay, so that is also why I like to have these on separate lines, right? I separate the curly brace line from the next, the next code line. So yeah, I just like having it look like this for that reason. So yeah, I'm going to select it all, Control / for that comment goodness, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Notice how it is separated from this curly brace as well. So I'm going to do that, comment that out as well, Control / I am going to skip the full screen because that's what I want to work. So I'm not going to comment that out. I want that to work. And I'm gonna do the same for this background editor, excluding this as well. I don't want to break anything. And so I'm gonna select all the way from background editor to the last curly brace for that matches, right? So you can tell it ends up right here. Okay, so control // and I'm going to save right now. I'm going to save and I'm going to reload. I'm going to restart. And now we have no images. We have no images because we just commented out all the code that has the images that we just added. Right, this was the sidebar, the panel, we just commented those out. The editor as well, we just commented that out. It had 2 images. Alright, so now we're left with just the full screen, which is what I wanted, because the full screen takes up the whole thing, and I didn't want like too many images around. I think that would be too distracting. Okay, so yeah. So what I'm going to do now is the same thing as I did for all the other ones. I'm going to remove this here. I don't know what that is. And I'm going to pick an image for the full screen panel. Okay. I like this image. I'm going to drag that into the browser. Select it, the URL. I'm going to go to here. In between the square brackets, put the quotation marks, paste the image URL from the browser, save, and then restart. And now we have an image that covers the entire screen. And you can see it's still there. Even if we open up all the panels, it covers the entire thing. And you can even change the opacity of it. So I can put 0.5, which I think is too high, but we're just going to do it. Yeah, you can barely... I don't know, it's kind of hard. I think this is hard to read the text, but this is still pretty cool. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. All right, let's do 0.2 and save that. Let's see. Let's do 0.1. Let's go back to 0.1. Come on. Come on. Sometimes it doesn't pop up, and you have to like retype something and then save it again. Okay. Let's change it back to 0.1. I'm trying to go slow because if you save it too quickly, sometimes it doesn't pop up. Yeah. Man, it doesn't pop up the button. Alright, what if I put a 0 at the end of it? Yes. What if I put a 1 at the end of it? There you go. Now it lets me save. Alright. 0.11. Alright. Okay. So you can do whatever you want for this as well. You can also put the interval. You can put multiple images if you want. You can put a comma, quotation marks, and then the image you want. You can even put a URL from a website, right? You can copy that. You can do that, and you can, yeah, you can just do that. Okay, so that's pretty good. The last 2 things I'm gonna cover is these 2, which, not gonna lie, I'm not too sure what they do, but I did read about it a little bit. So go on to the GitHub and look for the section where it had the code for full screen. And right above it, you're going to see some familiar faces. Okay, you're going to see images, opacity, interval, random. Okay, these are things we have seen. And you can also see we have size and position, which was the 2 that I have not talked about yet. Okay, so we're going to do size. So the reason I'm talking about this on the website is because I don't know what they do, and the website will tell you what they do. So I'm showing you how to figure that out. So here it has an explanation to what size means. It says right here, it is the name is size. String, you don't have to really worry about that, what that means. String just means it has quotation marks around it, basically. So whatever goes here has to be inside quotation marks. That's what string means. And you know, position is also string. Position also has a thing that is quotation marked. So let's go back though. So size is a string, and it says the default is cover. That is true, right? There was cover here, I guess. The reason it says default cover is because if you comment it out, control / and save and update and restart, it will not change anything because they're saying that by default size is going to be cover. So even if you don't have it here, size is still gonna get cover as its value, right? It just so happens that here we specified it to be cover, but even if it wasn't there, its default value is cover, so it would be cover anyways. I do not know. Granted, I don't know what cover means yet. We are going to figure that out. Here they say they recommend cover. They recommend it, so maybe that's good. I do have some tabs here. Let me close those. Okay. It says here it is an alias to background size, and this is a link. So let's click that and see where that takes us. Okay, here. And by the way, guys, this far into the video, you are set. You are good. You're pretty good, right? You're pretty good to go. You can, by this point, you understand how to add images to the full screen or the panel, the different panels. You can add multiple of them. You can add this, the time, the interval. In one moment, please. Okay, you can do that stuff. Here we did for the editor use front, which was the text. This is that's whatever. We have opacity, right? That's what we changed that, and I really don't know what this is, and that's okay. You don't have to know. You can read it on the GitHub if you want to figure out more, but at this point in the video, you are good. You are good to go. And actually, you know what? I'm just calling it. All right, this is gonna be the end of the video. Let me change my face to this thing, this beautiful nature environment. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. We have just covered how to add background images to VS Code, make them nice and beautiful, have different opacities. You can have multiple images on your computer or from the internet. You can even make it do a shuffle with random. And yeah, that's what we covered today. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the time you have taken to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next video if I do. Goodbye. Have a nice day.